Former President Donald Trump sat down with TV personality Dr. Phil for a one-on-one interview.
That's right. Part 2 airs tonight. But in Part 1, which aired yesterday, former President Trump spoke about the attempt on his life last month, saying he believes God played a role in saving his life and how that impacts what he says is his approach to the election. Listen.
If I win that would really serve to say that there's some incredible power up there that wanted me to be involved in saving, and maybe it's more than saving the nation, maybe it's saving the world.
Meanwhile, Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, is on the campaign trail today. He is making stops in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. CBS News political director Fin Gómez is in Washington with more on the Trump-Vance campaign. Hey there, Fin. So let's start off by talking about something that seems to be brewing, an alleged dispute at Arlington National Cemetery between campaign staff and officials that took place during Trump's visit on Monday. What are both sides saying happened?
Yeah, Lana and Errol, controversy is surrounding former President Trump's visit on Monday to Arlington National Cemetery. Look, the visit was intended to draw attention to the chaotic Biden administration's withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021. Trump was visiting the cemetery following a wreath-laying ceremony to honor the 13 U.S. military service members who were killed at Kabul Airport's Abbey Gate. NPR was first to report that there was a, quote, a verbal and physical altercation. A source with knowledge of the incident told NPR that a cemetery official attempted to prevent Trump's team from photographing and filming in the area where there were recent U.S. casualties, where recent U.S. casualties are buried. The Trump campaign put out a statement that said in part that there was no physical altercation as described, and we are prepared to release footage if such defamatory claims are made. The fact is that a private photographer was permitted on the premises, and for whatever reason, an unnamed individual clearly suffering from a mental health episode decided to physically block members of Trump's team during a very solemn ceremony. Not specifically sure. We did ask. We're not sure what that mental health episode line was about, but they were fervent in saying that they were given permission. And also there was a statement put out that they put out from the Gold Star families who had asked for Trump and his photographer and videographer to be there, that they had given approval for them to attend the event. They said that it was an effort to ensure these sacred moments of remembrance. But look, it has caused a lot of controversy from other Gold Star families also that I spoke to just this morning, who said that this sacred site is not a place for any events that are politically related. And also on the cemetery itself has a policy that says that this essentially is that you're very limited and restricted to what you can do at this location. But again, it is drawing a lot of attention today on former President Trump's visit earlier this week.
Yeah, Finn, that's right. They don't allow political campaigning there, so they obviously had some agreement, and then there was some obvious disagreement over what unfolded. I want to quickly ask you about Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, because he's set to appear at a fundraising event supporting Donald Trump and the RNC tomorrow. And Kemp, of course, previously said he didn't vote for Trump in the primary. They've been publicly at odds since the 2020 election. What brought about this apparent change?
Look, I think that there has been a lot of drama within this relationship between the Georgia governor and former President Trump. We all recall that the infamous phone call that stems back to the post-2020 election, where Trump asked him and Secretary of State Raffensperger about finding him 11,000 more votes, right? And it goes back to Trump supporting his opponent in the primary in 2022, his Republican opponent. Kemp trounced him in that race. And it goes back and forth. Kemp has been very vocal, very critical of Trump. But essentially, Errol, right now we're 69 days out into the November 5th election, and politics makes strange bedfellows sometimes. And right now, the Trump campaign needs Kemp more than Kemp needs Trump. But specifically, they need that sort of Kemp Republican, that sort of traditional conservative Republican, to help them win in that crucial battleground state. Our latest polling, our latest tracker shows that it is a dead heat in the Peach Street state. So, having Kemp on board with Trump does help him politically. And if Kemp has any aspirations beyond the state house in Georgia, he would also need to be aligned with the current Republican nominee.